Hello, you have probably heard about Frame.work. They make upgradable PCs. Here I am on their website. They have different types of laptops with different screen sizes. As you can see here, you can change the parts. So when you order it, you can go here, you can configure it, and you can select what parts you want to have, as you expect. But then you can also buy individual components later on. So when they release like an upgrade for like the screen, then you can buy a new screen and continue to use your current laptop. But yeah, just to replace the parts that you want. They recently released in this desktop PC, so I think that was their first desktop, and it's for AI work, so it's quite expensive and perform very well. Now it's in Swedish kronors, but yeah, it's quite a beefy machine, although very small, the form factor. And what I want to talk about today is this piece of news that we got. So Frame.work laptop 13 gets ARM processor with 12 cores via upgrade kit. And I think that's the first like third-party component Frame.work gets. Like all other parts that we saw here on their website, I think they are produced by Frame.work themselves. But this is the first time I'd like to get a completely new part from a third-party seller. And it's an ARM processor. So Frame.work themselves, they only sell like normal x86 computers. But this will be a completely new processor. So I think that's quite cool that there is this third-party seller who has developed this, but instead of making like their own laptop, they are basing it on the Frame.work 13, and can sell to that ecosystem their components instead of making their own. So I think that's very cool. And I also want to tell about a well-known Frame.work 13 user, that's DHH. So he's famous for having made the Ruby on Rails framework. This is a bit older blog post, but here he talks about that he had this 13 laptop, and then they released a new screen, and he was able to replace that. And he has been very outspoken about moving from Apple and MacBook to the Frame.work 13 and running Linux now. And they are using the Frame.work 13 laptops on at his company as well. And I also want to tell here, Frame.work, there was also a piece of news I saw now. And they are expanding their open source sponsorships. So here is a lot of different projects that Frame.work is donating money to. And a lot of good things. We can see like in GNOME, Linux Foundation, other distributions, Arch Linux, different meetups. So I think that's great. I think they were a bit known for like only caring about the hardware before, but it's great to see that they're like investing into the open source and Linux community, and not only just like open and replaceable hardware, but also the whole software ecosystem. Although here 3 months ago they posted this video, prototype and scrapped ideas. So I'm using a ThinkPad laptop. It's my third one, and I've been using ThinkPads for like 10 years now. And the only reason I'm on the ThinkPad is because of the trackpoint. So I really want to continue to use and have a trackpoint, but the Frame.work, they don't have a trackpoint. And here he talks about that. They have
modules.
I'm not the only one who have been like asking for it. It's a lot of people in the community, and here it talks about that.
That we hear over and over again across our entire product lineup is that people want pointing sticks. You might know it as trackpoint from other brands, the little nubs that you can use as a mouse. Obviously, if you're a ThinkPad user, former ThinkPad user, that might be something that you're very familiar and comfortable with. And so it is something that actually on all of our products, several times over the last 5 years, we have tried to prototype and make work. The big challenge on this actually is just that there's very, very little space here. The Z stack here is incredibly thin. And for a keyboard, it works, because the keys are compliant. If there's force that's put on the lid, like let's say you're got your laptop in a backpack with a book or something just being pressed on like that, the screen is going to touch the keys, and the keys are going to give way because they're just on these scissor mechanisms, and the screen will be okay. And you make it a little smudge you have to wipe off. You've got like finger grease on there. Pointing stick though is not compliant in that way. So you've got this like sharp point basically sticking out from the keyboard, and if there's pressure placed on the lid, that's going to go right onto that point on the tracking stick and end up damaging the screen or have a high likelihood of damaging the screen. And so we've just kept over and over, we've kept trying this and seeing if we could get a low enough profile pointing stick solution to make that work, not risk the screen at all.
Yeah, as you can hear, they're having a bit difficulty to make that fit. But with the ThinkPads I have had, I think they like suffer from this problem that he's describing. So like after some usage, I get marks on the screen, like from the keys and also from the track point, like small round thing. And yeah, you can like wipe it off. But I think it's a little bit annoying, like that the keys and track point all are leaving spots over the screen. So sure, I can agree with that. But like if ThinkPad have solved it and kept it in this way and it works, like I wonder why Frame.work cannot make the same. Why is it so impossible or so for Frame.work? Maybe with the chassis and how Frame.work 13 and 16 that they designed it in this way. Maybe it's a bit difficult now in afterwards to change the measurements since they want to keep like backwards compatibility and make it upgradable. So maybe that's something like with Lenovo that they thought about from the beginning to make like it work without damaging the screen. And maybe it's a bit difficult for fixing that afterwards for the framework. I don't know, but like regardless, I think it's a bit sad that they haven't managed to solve that, because if there was a track point for the framework, I would really consider getting a framework for my as my next laptop. But as it's now, I've been using ThinkPad for like 10 years, and it's my third ThinkPad, and they are reliable and they have that track point, so it would be a bit difficult for me to willingly part with that. So I don't know, but it's great to see that they're doing so well and like getting third-party components and continuing to make new products and develop and donating to open source. So that's great to see. What do you think about Frame.work, and do you have such a laptop, and what's keeping you from buying one? See you another time. Bye bye.